Welcome to another episode of Sibling Showdown, the best ball edition. As you can see, we are live in a drafters draft, and we are doing a live draft on drafters. So I am Meg. You can follow me at Megs08DFS. I'm joined by my brother Steve. You can follow him at SteveOSpeak. Steve, you ready to do a drafters draft here?
Yeah. Does that look like we're the fifth pick?
Yeah. So we have one, two. Yes, we have the fifth pick. Sorry, I'm moving slow today. Yes, we have the fifth pick overall. The draft is starting in 56 seconds. So in 56 seconds or less, tell me kind of just, so if you haven't seen it, episode 10, we did a drafters before. They had a tournament before the NFL draft. We did the early and draft. Then we went through drafters strategies, did a live draft, talked through a lot of drafter strategies there. Go check out episode 10 for more details. And we'll probably do like a whole drafters show and more drafters drafts. But kind of quickly tell me kind of key takeaways for drafters as opposed to the other formats.
Yeah, so the fact that it's weeks 1 through 17, cumulative scoring, not worrying about playoff weeks, it does change how some things are. Say injury situations and suspensions, like for instance, Jameson Williams, hurts a little bit more in drafters because those 6 weeks all hurt, and they all hurt the same. Where on another format, if you get through those 6 weeks and still make the playoffs, then those first those weeks don't matter. So that's the biggest thing. But yeah, we'll go along.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next break where draft started and it went Jefferson Cup. So we again have the fifth pick. We're up in 2. Who are you looking at? I mean, again, it is full point PPR, no bonuses, not like DraftKings bonuses, but full point PPR. So I think all are viable here with McCaffrey, Kelsey, Hill would be my top targets. Chase went. So I'm happy. Honestly, I'd be happy with any of those 3. McCaffrey just went. Do you think there's an advantage to doing like a hero tight end?
I do.
Okay.
And I'll talk about that after you.
Okay, go ahead. We got Kelsey.
So the thing with this is, generally speaking, in full point PPR, tight ends take a hit because they're just not going to get as many. We know they're not going to get as many yards. And they're not going to get typically as many catches. They rely so much on touchdowns. So in half point, touchdowns are king and can carry tight ends. Travis Kelce is the exception to the rule. So he still would have finished like 6th among wide receivers in full point PPR last year. No other tight ends coming in like the top 25, 30 of wide receivers. So you're just getting a massive leverage here. And we can only do 2 tight ends with that type of situation. So that frees up another roster spot to put into running back, put in receiver.
Say what you mean about we only need to draft 2 tight ends by drafting Kelsey.
Yeah, because his score is, there's going to be it's going to be very tough for 2 and 3 tight end for 2 and 3 tight end teams to just outscore Kelsey alone, much less whoever we have as a secondary option for at least covering his bye week. And I'm sure he will have a couple games under 10 points. Maybe we get lucky and that guy can still put up 12, 15 points in those types of games. So
yeah,
it's just a nice advantage there.
Yeah, and another thing we talked about in a recent episode was just stacking good offenses. And if we have the ability to get Mahomes, stacking up the Chiefs was a way to make money last year. And I think it's going to be a way to make money this year too. Yeah. So I've already queued Mahomes. Quarterbacks are going earlier this year. Don't know if he'll make it back to us, but if he does, I'm taking him. If he doesn't, and then of course we'll be back up, at pick 29. So if he makes it to pick 20, I'm definitely taking Mahomes. If he doesn't, we need to have other players queued up, and then some players that we were interested in pick 29. I personally think, in this situation, I wouldn't mind running receivers thin out incredibly quick. So I would like to get, probably at least one receiver at pick 29, but I'd have to see unless there was like a really good running back value. So I think it kind of depends there as the board shakes out a little bit more. Okay, Hurts went, so let's just hope we make it 2 more picks or 3 more picks without Mahomes going. So again, who would be your backup? Taylor went at pick 20 if Mahomes was gone.
Garrett Wilson for sure.
Yeah. Okay. I was just queuing up some of the ones I liked. obviously paying attention to their ADPs too. We have 2 picks up until we are up. This person's taking their time down to the clock here. And let's see. Okay, Tony Pollard went there. 1 more pick to get through, and then hopefully we can grab Mahomes. Okay, Garrett Wilson went to them. Good pick, by the way, but we will go ahead because we mentioned him and take Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, we have the Chiefs stack locked and loaded up top. I have already queued. So our next pick is pick 29, coming back around in the 3rd round. I have already queued Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, Josh Jacobs. Waddle just went. So I just queued up Higgins and Olave. Then at the running back position, you have Ramondre. I mean, Derrick Henry, you get a little ADP value slightly there, but I mean, he doesn't offer quite as much here, with full point PPR. So I don't know your take on all the guys I queued up in total. Who would you be most interested in?
Yeah, I probably would just look to grab a receiver.
I mean, obviously Higgins. We know Higgins plays the Chiefs at the end. Doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter. Week 17 matters as much as week 1. So that's something to keep in mind. But they do play each other. So, that's, again, it's just we want pieces of good offenses. Yeah, sign me up for any pieces of the Eagles and Cincinnati. I will say, though, Olave, if they go, Olave, is someone I'm coming more and more around on, even at his ADP. Just could have a breakout second season, and Saints have an incredibly easy schedule this year. Something to just keep in mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so it went Ramondre, Mark Andrews, Devonta Smith. So yeah, you agree with that about Olave too. So right now we have Higgins, Olave, Breece Hall on the board. We'll see who goes ahead of me, and then we'll make our decision from there. So you would rank it in that order, I see. Okay, Higgins.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you say go Olave?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, great PPR receiver too.
Oh yeah, and gets a quarterback upgrade in Derek Carr. I think he's in line for a big second year.
Okay, again, like just to reinforce, kind of because we were rushed getting started. The drafters' strategies. You really got to keep in mind over and over cumulative points. It's not the playoff format. It's weeks 1 through 17. So you still need to be careful about bye weeks here and make sure each week you're getting a good score, though, right, Steve?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, pay attention to the bye weeks. Pay attention, to your overall team construction, and you just want to make sure. I think a couple things is stacking up good teams is key. I think hero quarterback and hero tight end like we just did can apply even more. I think again, you definitely pay attention to the bye weeks, but you can I don't know that like one strategy, when they talk about hero RB or zero RB or double hero, I don't think there's there's not one magic strategy for all. I'll probably be exposing myself to all, but with the PPR format, I do want to always be cognizant of that, of my picks. So it's coming back around. Who do you want to queue up? So I'll pull up running backs first. Some of these guys could be gone, but I queued up, Travis Etienne, Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins. Receivers, glad we grabbed Olave because, I don't like this. I wanted to get like one like really top end receiver, and there starts to be a tier break, in that 3rd round, especially, once the Devonta Smiths, Higgins, Olaves go. So any receivers you want to queue up here?
Yeah, I mean, I like Amari, obviously, Christian Kirk. I prefer him over Christian Watson just with the offense.
We're coming up to pick 44, so I don't want to go too far down, but I mean, I'll throw Jerry Jeudy in as like a 3rd. But looking at my queue, we have Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins, Amari Cooper, Christian Kirk, Jerry Jeudy. We're up in 2. Again, we're not going to focus on quarterback and tight end. That's the other nice part about getting Kelsey and Mahomes is then you can just, deal with that later. Let's just focus on getting some good running backs and receivers here. I don't know. I kind of lean. I don't know. I'm kind of lean Kenneth Walker, but I'm fine getting exposure to that Jacksonville offense and Kirk. We're on the clock. What do you think?
Let's get Kirk. I think we can get some
Yeah,
running backs. May double up running backs at
next
53 and
round.
68. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, another good PPR back or receiver, excuse me. So obviously, before we hit the turn, we have Mahomes, Kelsey, and then Olave, Kirk. Let's look at running backs again.
So
J.K.
I definitely
Dobbins.
put Jones, Sanders, Pierce all in there.
Okay. Oh,
And just
Mixon,
what?
that's just a little high for me, given,
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're obviously going to keep him, but it's just a little high for me. I've never been a Mixon girl. Herbert just went, so there was a little mini run on. This is the highest I've ever seen Dak go, but they did back-to-back quarterbacks,
Yeah.
Fields and Dak. That's interesting. Hey, listen, I'm big on Dak this year. Okay, Dobbins did go. So after us, Walker, London, Herbert, Mike Williams, Dobbins, and we're up in 2. We want to kind of look at the running back position since we've already kind of addressed, some receivers recently. I don't know. I kind of like Miles Sanders over Aaron Jones. I know that sounds crazy, but he has less competition. He has less competition for touches, and a very easy schedule too.
I like Sanders a lot.
Okay. Oh, good old Terry Wynn. I love Terry. You'll hear me say it at every show. Okay. Miles Sanders, we got our first running back. So with a little bit of a break here. And again, another point to mention as we have a tiny break, drafters is 20 rounds. So 20 rounds as opposed to 18, 20 on DraftKings, 20 on drafters, and 18 on Underdog. So that's something to keep in mind. Those extra spots help a little bit too in your roster decisions. So yeah, I mean, I think coming back, I think we probably would like to try to get at least one more running back with the next 2 picks at 68 and 77. And then I'm fine, going back to the receiver well, because boy, by after round 8, it starts to get thin quick at receiver. And I know we have more picks, but I'd say I'd be fine with 1 and 1 as far as from like a positional strategy standpoint. Though, if there are 2 receivers, I could be comfortable with some late round running backs here. I think it just needs to see what's on the board. So as the turn's coming around, just Aaron Jones is left for running backs, Aaron Jones, Swift. I don't have a ton of interest in Akers, but I do in Isaiah Pacheco. And then we're getting down kind of a little bit, but reaching past ADP. Receivers, which receivers in this area do you like, Steve?
I like Lockett.
I honestly like Lockett a little better than JSN, which I know is not really consensus, just because I like the proven commodity and he's going under his, rookie counterpart.
Can you go back to running back? Because they just all went, all those guys.
Pacheco's still there.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do a chief stack. I mean, I don't hate that because, listen, I don't mind. The other Chiefs receivers are going to be like whack-a-moles, though I do love Rice. So you want to go Pacheco?
Yeah.
Or would you rather? Okay.
No, let's go Pacheco.
Okay. All right. So we got 2 running backs and we've added to our Chiefs stack, which I like. Because again, here, and we talked about this in the team stacking show. You can get creative with stacks. You can do quarterback, running back, tight end, receiver, or quarterback, running back, tight end. It doesn't have to always be quarterback and 2 receivers. You can be. Sometimes those are sharper ways to go about it, in my opinion. Lockett's still queued up. Again, it thins out quick, so I really would like to pick up a receiver in rounds.
I would target Deontay Johnson next.
I guess as a PPR receiver, you like him over Tony, over these other guys.
Jordan Addison, I would also put right there.
Okay. Yeah, and those are right around ADP, so I like that. I don't think we'll get down to this point, but I love Jahan Dotson. I mean, shocker, I like a Washington, but I do love both McLaurin and Dotson, and hopefully Sam Howell can get them the ball better. Okay, so coming around, I just wanted to take a look at. Okay, so Deontay went and Addison went.
Yeah.
So question becomes, I was just taking a peek, but at bye weeks are fine. I mean, I think forcing Tony, I'd rather get Rice later, since we have 3 Chiefs already. I'm fine with either Pickens, Gabe Davis, or Jahan Dotson, or Brandon Cooks. I like all of those. I actually probably like Dotson the best, and that's not just the homer take. What's your take?
I mean, I think obviously Davis and Cooks are attached to better offenses that are going to just throw and score more.
Well, Davis just is a competition for target. Well,
Dotson just went. So
smart person, whoever you are. Okay, so and I'm having problems. I'm going to take Brandon Cooks. I really am bullish on the Dallas offense. So again, I get it. Gabe Davis, Bills offense, but I really like Brandon Cooks as like that second receiver weapon for Dak this year. And again, always just trying to get. We now have exposure to, yes, Carolina, New Orleans, but again, that division has very, easy strength of schedule. And then we have access to Kansas City, Dallas, Jacksonville. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Again, always looking which teams I can get access to and want those high offenses. And those are high octane offenses that I want a piece of. Okay. Coming back around, it'll be the 8th and 9th round. At what point, let me just ask you, would you look for a second quarterback and second tight end?
Probably not until about round 12, to be honest.
Yeah. Just wanted to see.
These guys are tempting, but the idea is Mahomes just locking you in to every week.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, let's see. I'm just going to queue some up. I mean, if Gabe Davis is still there, I'll queue more up. But Pickens just went. I queued up. Honestly, Russ could be a later round quarterback we could get.
Yeah,
so
we'll just have to see if Sutton's still there. There's still a lot of talk.
Is there still trade talk? Yeah.
What about running back?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me just, while we're at receiver, just queue up a couple more. Like I said, it gets thin really fast. So how many we have 3 receivers, 2 running backs. So it gets thin really, really, really fast.
Yeah.
I know you don't like this as part of but if he lasts to the 9th round, I am interested.
That's rough though, because we're considering him as a starter. Like it's different in a different type of build.
Oh yeah, I guess he would be the 4th receiver. Well, I mean, a running back or whatever. We've got all like questionable situations here. I know a lot are bullish on Madison right now. If Dalvin Cook gets moved, or he does have gets injured, he has some injury history. James Cook with Buffalo and Alvin Kamara. So I think those would be the 3 that Alvin Kamara, though, the suspension issue, and how long, we have no idea. I mean, we know Jameson Williams, he's going to be out 6 weeks. With Alvin Kamara,
we don't know.
It could be, have they given like a tip to hand at what they think it could be?
Typically these are around 6 games, so that's a significant amount.
Yeah, I figured Madison would go. He's been getting steamed up each and every draft I'm in. So
I do like Cook. I like Cook. I think that's a good value pick.
And you're not concerned about any of the other, you think he could get a lot more work this year?
Yeah, and it's PPR. He should definitely be involved in the passing game more. So, and I think now, we didn't get a true elite running back, but we got, three guys who project for pretty good roles.
The thing you say though, Steve, is I get what you're saying about Jameson Williams, but like if he could give us, let's see, 11 weeks. Did I do the math right there? As just an absolute, stud and on a top offense. I have interest, and then I'll just go back to back, and get another receiver that I feel is starting quality maybe as it comes back, like a Lazard. Like I'm not going to reach for a Lazard here. I don't like Michael Thomas. I mean, Rashad Bateman, I know a lot of people are bullish on. I know I need to get around to that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like Bateman, like he's going to be involved every week. That could be a really good offense. Juju don't love the offense, so they do actually have an offense coordinator. And
Oof.
Juju, every year he's healthy, he's a top 36 PPR guy. He was like 32 last year or 28, something like that. I mean, that means a lot of receivers already taken ahead of him. He'd be beating.
This one's check out our bye weeks. Okay, 11, 9, 7 for our first three receivers. So neither of these conflict. Just wanted to check and see.
Well,
On that.
Jameson Williams does.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Him and Kirk.
sorry. Kirk. Okay. Then I'll probably take Bateman if he's there. Again, I do want a piece to the Baltimore offense. Hopefully. Okay, so Michael Thomas went, and I'm going to take Rashad Bateman. So with a tiny break here, we have, let's see, 1 quarter. So we're through 9 rounds, 1 quarterback, 1 tight end, 3 running backs, 4 receivers. I think that's a good balance distributionally. With the kind of build we are doing, again, we got a hero tight end and hero quarterback. That means we can do 2 and 2 if we want, and then really allow a lot of resources to go into the running back and receiver position. Because we took Mahomes and Kelsey, we don't have like a true alpha receiver, but I was really glad we went Chris Olave with our 3rd pick because, again, receiver thins out quick. So again, we have Mahomes, Sanders, Pacheco, James Cook from Buffalo, Chris Olave, Christian Kirk, Brandon Cooks, Rashad Bateman, Travis Kelce. So happy with the start. And, we're coming around 2 picks, 10 and 11. I'm going to take a peek at tight end just to see if there's anything like we love. Again, it's you're assuming Kelsey's doing, I think we can wait a little bit, maybe get like a Laporta or something like that later. That doesn't conflict. Same with quarterback. I think we could wait, maybe get like a Russ or,
a Derek Carr even.
Yeah. Derek Carr with Olave. Yep. So, in fact, I'll just queue both those up just to keep an eye on them. Okay. So, again, coming into round 10 at picks 116, 125, just keep those in mind. I've already queued up Devin Achane.
I do Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, Antonio Gibson's better for this format. They're going right around the exact same ADP. I'm fine with like Jamal Williams. I usually always love Jerick McKinnon, but we obviously took Pacheco. I don't know if you have any other strong running back takes, and I want to take a look at receiver.
No, those would be the ones.
Okay. I want to queue up Lazard. We already have Jacksonville, so I don't know that I want to force. It's getting, I like getting access to the Bengals.
Yeah.
Anybody 126? Hold on 1 second. Let me just see 120. Yeah, I don't think we want to reach down too far.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be there, but again, Juju's one of the best PPR receivers in the league.
I think there's a reason he's still on the board. See, the player takes. Steve and I are not always going to agree. But that's what makes these drafts fun, and a good learning lesson as you go through the drafts and you get the macro, the big picture strategy, and you get the, actual looking at, the picks and who you like and who you think is going to best serve your team, player for player, point for point. I mean, I'll take it, but I don't want to be attached to that New England offense. I hate it.
Well, it's going to be a better offense. It has to be, obviously. And there's not a lot of competition there. There's guys there, but it's not like good guys. So he could easily be their guy.
Well, I would rather take like a Devin Achane right now. I'm getting him 10 picks.
I like Gibson more than Achane.
Why do you like Gibson more than Achane?
Our build, we need guys that we know are going to play.
Okay. Well, I wanted a running back.
And Achane was a week 10 bye, which we already are very stacked up on.
Ah, that's a good point.
including Pacheco, one of our running backs.
All right, if Juju's still there, I'll consider it. It just makes you want to barf.
I mean, he's going to produce. You know, health is obviously an issue, but you can say that about 20 guys.
If we would have gotten Lamar, we already got Bateman, so I don't know that I want to go for Beckham. Oh my God, please someone take Juju so I don't have to. I hate him.
I don't understand why.
Because I don't know. I know he had some, he was, the best Kansas City option last year, but it was, Kelsey was the main guy. I know it's just every year he gets older, he just feels like, I don't know, less and less dominant. And I just hate that Patriots.
He's
Thank
26,
God.
Going to be 27.
Oh,
he's not old.
Well, watching him run around out there last year, it just didn't. I don't know. It didn't look appealing, even though he was Mahomes' best option outside of Kelsey. And I hate the New England offense, but he got taken, so problem solved. I'm gonna take Tyler Boyd. I'd much rather attach myself to Joe Burrow than.
No, I get that, but I just think, Juju's just like a free layup for a guy who is, if you're starting 4 receivers with flex, he's going to be a top 50 receiver, no question.
All right. Well, we are through 11 rounds, so we have 9 more picks to go. I do think we could start considering other tight ends we may want. Down here, I don't mind like a Dulcich, Laporta.
I wouldn't do Dulcich given if we were only going to do 2.
Why?
We just don't know how Sean Payton views him. They brought in multiple other tight ends.
But you'd be fine with a rookie as just a second tight end?
Yeah, I'd much rather have a guy who I feel is going to play for sure and like be have a full-time role than Dulcich, who might just be kind of a part-time guy.
Okay. Let me see. I was just going to say, if Wilson's still there, I'm very interested in that if the bye weeks didn't conflict, which they didn't, but he just got taken. So I wouldn't mind grabbing a car because then, after that, you get into the these injury guys or injury guys, rookies, first-year guys, second-year guys, that kind of stuff. So I'm targeting car with my next pick.
I can't believe Geno's fallen. That's
ridiculous. Yeah, no, that is a big fall all the way down to the 11th round.
I mean, he would be a steal.
He just was taken. I was going to say I'll queue him up too, but he was just taken. So, 2 of the quarterbacks we could have taken, Wilson, Geno. That's why I do think now's the time to jump. Hopefully Carr's still there. If not, you have to make some decisions. I queued up Laporte already, but that could be later. Though I do think he'll go earlier than expected. I will say that. I don't think he's going to last to 14. I've been noticing he's going way above ADP in most of my drafts. So how many? Oh, it says the number here. Okay, so we have 4 running backs, 5 receivers. So in the total build, if we did go 2 and 2, would you go like 7 and 9 then, as far as 7 running backs, 9 receivers, or how would you
probably?
Do that?
I mean, I'd probably leave that last pick kind of open.
Yeah.
Either a 10th receiver, maybe a 3rd tight end.
Yeah.
Just because.
But I think these are solid running backs. I don't think we need to go more than 7 running backs. I don't think that's
no. Yeah. But I'm saying, I mean, honestly, the last 2 picks, like, how they get kind of that 7th running back, 9th receiver. It could go, maybe it's 10 receivers, 6 running backs and 10 receivers or something like that.
So it just went at the turn, Komet, Dubs, Higbee, DPJ, Donald Peoples-Jones, Beckham.
The good news is we don't have conflicting buys in our we do have 2 week 7s, Cooks and Boyd, but other than that, running backs are all spaced out, so that's good. And good spacing amongst the receivers too.
And then no bye week conflict. Yeah. So Carr has week 11 bye, and Mahomes has a week 10 bye.
Yeah, Carr's a good pick here if we can get him. Nice.
Okay, got him. All right, perfect. We got our second quarterback. Doesn't conflict bye week. I like that. Actually correlates with Olave, our first receiver. So here, I'm telling you, Steve, I don't think Laporta is going to be there if we don't take him here. What are your thoughts?
I think that's fine. I mean, just look at receiver real quick. Did somebody fall? Yeah,
nobody that I want. I'm very honest with my assessments. There's just, and I know as the best ball season moves on, I need to like diversify my portfolio more and get exposures and that kind of stuff. But oof. Oh yeah, tight end is a go, and I actually hope Laporta makes it to us. Wait, that doesn't conflict by week 9, and yeah,
10.
They're 10. So Steve's so good at memorizing bye weeks. I have to like double and triple check each time. I'm like, wait a second. Okay, so I have Laporta queued up and ready to go as long as this person doesn't take him. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do.
I think there were some receivers like Alec Pierce or, DJ Shark you could look at.
Okay, they took Shark. So we are going to take Sam Laporta, Detroit Lions. So little break here. We have 2 quarterbacks, Mahomes, Carr, 4 running backs, Miles Sanders, Pacheco, Cook, Gibson, 5 receivers, Olave, Kirk, Brandon Cooks, Bateman, Boyd, 2 tight ends, Kelsey, Laporta. This is coming along very nicely. No bye week concerns at all yet. Nice Chief stack, a Saint stack, one of the easiest schedules in the league this year, by the way. Getting access to some good offenses. Buffalo, Bengals, Dallas, Jacksonville, Baltimore. Detroit, yeah. Washington.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So anyways, okay, so we're heading into rounds 14, 15. So we have what? How many more picks left? 1, 2, 3. 7 more to go. So into rounds 14, 15. Yeah, like if some like tight end like falls later, okay, sure. But like we need to start queuing up let's queue up receivers and running backs we like, because at this point we're just going to be taking, good values. Obviously, if Gallup was still there.
Yeah, even though we have Cooks, I don't mind taking them, but we do then have to start worrying about week 7 bye. So
yeah,
Alec Pierce, guys like Van Jefferson.
I don't love it, but I know the Rams could bounce back this year, and I know he's the second option. Again, these are guys I need to come around on, but it's hard for me.
Look at running back. I feel better about our running back situation, but
I don't mind Kenny Gainwell, especially PPR. I mean, the rest of these are like pure handcuff. Like at least Gainwell gives you that receiving floor. I mean, I understand what their running back room is crowded and looks like now, but
I mean,
my God, did they lean on him last postseason?
Yeah, no, they clearly like him, but he's probably fairly capped. But I don't mind him. But I do think Tank Bigsby is going to kind of have a strong secondary role in Jacksonville. They've talked all offseason about wanting to have a second back there.
Really? What, like a 60-40 situation?
Yeah, more like 65-35. So, I mean, Gainwell might only, with 3 backs, he might only be there 20% of the time. So,
I don't understand why people aren't to take it. Again, the whole reason to take, there's edges to be gained in every month, and I'll talk about it after this pick. But there are edges, and I wouldn't take them with this pick, but there are edges to be gained every single month. And I think now you just make stands on things that you think could happen. And if you're saying, I think Elliott and Leonard Fournette could land in great spots decent spots for them at the ADPs they're going at, they're going to go, if they land in a good spot, they're going to be drafted much, much higher. And those are the kind of advantages we okay, we're up. Someone just took Alec Pierce. So we were left with Gallup, Van Jefferson, Gainwell, Bigsby, Elliott. I'm leaning towards doubling up on Gallup. I know then we need to know more receivers week 7, but I really, really like that. So, okay. So coming back around, my point in saying that is, the whole like Leonard Fournette, Ezekiel Elliott, those type of situations, anybody like coming back from injury, free agents, I know people are making stands on Madison, like those kind of things. Like we are taking on risk by drafting this early because injuries could happen. But the what could go break our way is if we make the right stands on things, like people that drafted Chris Godwin last year before, they got the green light that he was going to be good. That kind of stuff. You can get edges by taking and get a guy, 1, 2, 3 rounds earlier than they'll end up going. Coming back around, Gainwell's still there. Like, would you rather do like a Gainwell, or would you rather do? And I know you don't mind Tank Bigsby, or would you rather do like an Elliott? Like, to me, I'd rather do an Elliott.
Honestly, just for this build, I think if Van Jefferson's there, I think getting another receiver, just because I do think that's the weakest part right now.
Well, yeah, it's the weakest part, but we do have 6 to 4 running, which I know that's basically the ratio we want to keep.
Yeah.
But like then I'm just saying that running back gets ugly then. I
mean, my logic here thinking is that Van Jefferson has a very, very clear path to being the number 2 receiver, where Gainwell might never be more than like a 20% guy.
Well, he went. Van Jefferson went. So
okay.
And I get your points, but I actually don't mind some receivers a little in the next round.
I do like Jaden Reed. I think there's a real chance he's the Packers' top pass catcher this year. So that could be very valuable. And from a value standpoint, if he ends up like 80 catches, 900 yards, and 5 touchdowns, that's the type of thing that we should be looking for.
All right, I'll take your advice. I'm going to go Jaden Reed, but did I draft it? Yeah, but I'm coming back. If Elliott or Fournette, or if Elliott or Fournette are there, I'm taking them because that's the type of situation where you could be getting insane value. So
well, and just to kind of go off, and yes, we are guessing right now. Maybe Jaden Reed doesn't win the starting job, but they took him in the 2nd round. Essentially, Christian Kirk, roughly the same draft capital as Christian Kirk, but they're different receivers. He's a slot guy, should play a lot inside, and his competition right now for the receiving room is a 2nd-year Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, a 2nd-year Romeo Doubs. So I could easily see him taking that top role, and when we're talking PPR, that's very valuable. What I do like is, given the 4 running backs that we have, I think we can, take some of these shots on the Elliott's or Fournette's, or, I know Gainwell, Tank Bigsby, even a Tajay Spears. If he's the Titans' number 2, and Henry, we saw what Donta Foreman did a couple of years ago when Henry missed some time. Yes, if Henry plays every week, it's not going to do a lot, but there could be a lot of value there. And also, who knows, Henry might get traded if the Titans are as bad as some people think.
That is true. I know I've seen people speculate that. Gainwell and Bigsby just went. I mean, all these guys could be gone, and I definitely am taking a running back next, and not to be tunnel vision, but like running back, I've seen this movie play out. Let me say it that way. And it gets ugly at running back. And we do only have 4, and it's not like we have any studs or anything like that. So, I do think it's prudent to take a running back here. I hope one of those veterans fall to me. Jerome Ford just went. Shakir just went. A couple more picks till we have. Hopefully one of those guys is still there. And then ideally we'd get a 6th running back. I may even come back and get it, because it gets, in my opinion, really ugly. And to speak to your point about those handcuffs, the only problem I have about like a guy like Spears, and I am intrigued with like, oh geez, if they did trade Henry at the deadline or something like that, then Spears just went. That is very, very intriguing. But like, I've been burned bad by like this pure
Yeah.
handcuff guys.
But that's the point of us getting usable guys like Cook and Gibson versus some of the other guys, like a Chain or somebody like that who could be high upside, or he could be third on that depth chart. We know guys like Cook and Gibson, no matter what happens, are going to be no worse than second on that depth chart.
Yeah, I just took Ezekiel Elliott, so I
like Elliott there, and I think Zach Evans, Gus Edwards. I think those are other speculative spots for backups.
Would you not, just out of curiosity, would you not take like a second free agent just because then it would be two free agents? Obviously, we have both other free agents sitting there.
Yeah, I'm not as high on Hunt. Just even though it's been a while, maybe it's his past legal troubles that are keeping people from even entertaining him. Maybe they both end up in spots. I just feel much better that Fournette will end up in the spot and kind of at least being a number 2 on the team, where Hunt might sign with somebody but be like the number 3.
Yeah. I agree. I feel much better about Fournette than Hunt. I mean, I'm tempted about Fournette. If not, I'm kind of tempted to go because I don't think Gus Edwards would be there on the way back. There's no way. There's just, people know that it gets thin so quick. So I probably would take Gus Edwards Fournette went. So Fournette went. So if Gus Edwards is here, I'm taking him with this pick because it's not like any of these receivers are knocking me off my feet. So I know during all that we did miss, one guy. I'll talk after I make the pick because I'm up in one pick here. Let me hopefully grab Gus Edwards. I know we do have 1 week 13 running back bye, but this is our last running back. You know, it's not a big deal. And that's our third running back, go to James Cook, that is, with the week 13 bye. But as we talked about in our show earlier, it's important to keep in. Son of a bitch, the Gus Edwards just went. All right, what's your feelings on Zach Evans? Because I mean, it gets so ugly. I can't.
No, I like Zach Evans.
I know I've heard a lot of people talk about him. Basically, he's going to be the number 2, right?
Yeah, he's competing with Kyron Williams, but he just has a much better profile than Kyron Williams. So
okay. I like that, and I like the Rams. I've been outlining an article about the Rams to, be an undervalued offense that could bounce back this year with having better, obviously health.
Yeah, their offensive line was absolutely decimated, and then of course the Stafford and Kupp injuries and Allen Robinson. I mean, just a nightmare situation for them.
All right, so with that said, we got our 2 quarterbacks. We have Mahomes and Carr. We have our 6 running backs: Sanders, Pacheco, Cook, James Cook, Gibson, Elliott, Zach Evans. We have 7 receivers currently: Olave, Kirk, Brandon Cooks, Bateman, Boyd, Gallup, Jaden Reed. I like that Jaden Reed, high upside pick. 2 tight ends, very happy with Kelsey and Laporta. We have stacked Mahomes and Kelsey, Carr and Olave, stacked up access to good offenses, all things we've been preaching and talking about in our strategy shows. It's coming back around. I'm content with our quarterback, running back, and receiver, tight end. If we got another tight end, like you said, fine, or another running back, fine. But I think we should start queuing up receivers that,
Is Corey Davis still there?
Yes.
I would prioritize him. And I know it's week 7, but I really, with how many receivers we're taking, I think we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And
the nice thing,
all signs point to him being.
I was gonna say, give your sales pitch for Corey Davis.
Yeah, all signs point to him being not cut, being a starter there. He's going to be on the field quite a bit. He's got the him and Lazard have size. He's got great deep speed. He could be a better version of MVS in the Hackett-Rodgers offense. And we saw MVS have multiple spike weeks every year with Rodgers.
Let me ask you that. I know you don't, and the Giants room is crowded, but I know you like Slayton. What about taking Slayton here and then coming back and getting with 221? Because again, he definitely could be there at 221.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that.
Okay, I think that just makes a lot more sense, because if we reach for him, then Slayton goes, then there's other options, but
I think that's good.
Let's just hope he doesn't get taken. He might. If not, there's other options. But I think you made a great case, and believe me, I do have plenty of Corey Davis. I want exposure to that Jets offense this year.
Yeah.
So we got Slayton, and then it went Tank Dell, Mac, two quarterbacks, Jones and Mayfield, Richie James. That was one thing I was going to say. In a perfect world, as we were, going through, I would have tried to maybe grab Rice too for like a 4-man Chief stack, because you'd be getting the ADP value later. But I think at that point, he went along the lines when we kind of really needed another running back or another receiver or something another running back.
To look and see where exactly he
we
went.
wrote to look.
It was around when we took Carr.
Yeah, it might have been that. Whereas, like, oh, geez, I really want to get a second really solid receiver, quarterback. Even though Mahomes is going to be most of the weeks, he's at least going to need to fill in at least 1 week, if not more. Not every game is perfect. So, okay, so Corey Davis is still there. If this person doesn't take him, we will take him, and then we just have 1 pick left.
Yeah.
Okay, they did not, so I took Davis. Okay, with 1 pick left, we have a build of 2, 6, 9, 2. I mean, I do think we could take another, I'm happy with our receivers. I mean, it's deep. You could take a 10th receiver, and I like Tim Patrick a lot. A lot of the other ones I liked are been Josh Reynolds has some upside, but I think we could look and take another tight end just in case,
Just curious, are there any other quarterbacks? Well, I doubt they would play. There is obviously the risk of, what happened with Hurts last year. And I know Title, the guy who won it, was able to survive those 2 Hurts weeks. But if that's Mahomes and Carr just has below average games, or maybe Mahomes is out a week that Carr has a bye on, there is that value of even a guy getting 10 points is better than nothing when it comes to quarterback. But there's only 2 starters left.
Really, there's 2 starters.
What is running back at? A speculative.
All these are going to be speculative.
Sure, but like a Pierre Strong or
what about a Trevion Williams?
I was also going to say Malik Davis. Right now, maybe Dallas signs a Fournette or somebody like that, but right now he's probably the guy in Dallas.
I just screwed up 2 other Schoonmaker and Ott, and I don't know their bye weeks.
Musgrave also.
We have Jaden Reed, but
we have tons of Dallas also. So
I know, but I love Dallas offense this year. Assuming Elliott doesn't go back to Dallas, we just have the 2 Dallas receivers.
Yeah.
So, anyways, would you go one of the tight ends? Tim Patrick, Malik Davis, Trevion Williams. We decide not to go quarterback.
I'm fine. I'd say Davis or tight end. I would not do it another receiver. I think
you don't like Trevion Williams.
I think he's fine, but I think Davis is more likely of the 2.
I'm upset. This Washington fan is obsessed with drafting Dallas. How about that? What a world. Okay. Is this the best way to view it, or can we view my team? Is there a way I can view the draft after I go here? Probably. I was just curious when Rice went. We'll figure it out. Okay. So this is not in the order in which I drafted them, but I don't believe.
No.
So, but this is my team. Again, we got 2 quarterbacks, Mahomes, Derek Carr, 6 running backs, James Cook, Isaiah Pacheco, in no particular order, James Cook, Isaiah Pacheco, Ezekiel Elliott, Antonio Gibson, Zach Evans, Miles Sanders. So obviously Miles Sanders was the first one I took. I believe 9 receivers, again, not in the order they were drafted: Tyler Boyd, Michael Gallup, Chris Olave, Corey Davis, Christian Kirk, Jaden Reed, Rashad Bateman, Brandon Cooks, Darius Slayton. And then I love stacking Dallas. I want access to good offenses. We got Luke Schoonmaker, Sam Laporta, 2 rookies with the stud Travis Kelce. So we again have a Chiefs stack with Mahomes, Kelce, Pacheco. We have Carr, Olave, and we have a lot of access to good offenses in Dallas, Buffalo, Yeah, the Jets breaking out. I mean, that's a late round piece, but Baltimore, um, Detroit. So, I like this build because I think it's a good build structure. We went with the hero quarterback and tight end. And then, I think we had a balanced approach in our receivers and running backs that still offer good upside, especially in a full PPR format. Why don't you give your quick thoughts and then we can get out of here?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, quarterbacks, Mahomes is the best, and Carr, consistently is like 15 to 17 in fantasy. So I think that's a good backup, especially for where we got him. As for running backs, I actually do really like it. I think Sanders is locked and loaded as their feature guy. I think Pacheco is definitely going to be handling most of the rushing work in Kansas City, and we'll get some passing work. We saw how good he was in the Super Bowl. Guys like Cook and Gibson are at the worst high value receiving backs and secondary backs on their teams. And Cook especially could end up with the bigger role there. And Gibson, Eric Bieniemy might prefer Gibson over Robinson, just his playmaking ability. So I think there's a lot there. And then, Zeke, if he ends up in a good landing spot, that's just gravy for us. And then Zach Evans, a speculative late round rookie I really like. So when it comes to receivers, for how much we had to wait because we did do hero quarterback, hero tight end, I think we ended up really good. Olave, we talked about at the top, could be in line for breakout. And obviously they have a great fantasy schedule. Christian Kirk, even with Ridley there, that offense I think can easily support both of these guys and can keep getting better. Brandon Cooks just in a great situation moving from Houston to Dallas. We also got Gallup backing him up, so could definitely get some spike weeks there. Or if something happens to either Lamb or Cooks, then Gallup can just step right in. And again, a great offense. And same thing, Tyler Boyd. We've seen it. This guy the last 3 years, even with all the competition they have in Chase and Higgins and AJ Green 3 years ago, he's averaging about 1,000 yards a year. That's good. Only a couple of like big spike weeks, but gives us a really good floor.
Yep.
A couple spike weeks, and just again attached to big offense. And Rashard Bateman. I mean, let's just get this guy to stay healthy, and Lamar, get him throwing some more. I really like that. And then finally the last two receivers, and this is what I love, or last three. I'm sorry. Darius Slayton could be the one or the two outside guy in the Giants, and even though the volume might not be great, where we got him, that's fantastic. Same with Corey Davis, talked about him earlier. Just fantastic situation with Aaron Rodgers. Definitely some spike week potential, and just could actually be solid all around. And then finally, Jaden Reed. Definitely a rookie situation. We don't know what that offense will be with Jordan Love. Somebody's going to be catching the ball. And it very well could be Reed, like we said. So, and then finally with the tight ends, obviously Kelsey is the best in the world by a wide margin. That gives us a huge edge versus every other team who took tight ends, even if they doubled up with two top end tight ends. I mean, you could take Andrews and Hawkinson, and Kelsey might outscore them combined. Just unless their spike weeks really balance out. And just in case, we get Samuel Laporta attached to a great offense and Schoonmaker attached to a great offense, two very athletic tight ends who rookie tight ends, but could be in positions to start for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I'm super happy with that draft. So if we win this one, this happened to be, we were just seeing which draft was filling. There's the big $20 contest over on DraftKings, top prize $300,000, and then this is the smaller tournament, the $3 contest, top prize $30,000. So I'll split it with you if we win.
There we go.
How's that sound? Again, remember, if you are new to drafters, go check it out. The whole diversifying and being able to do like a full season-long cumulative scoring, and still have fun with like DraftKings and Underdog with the playoff weeks is really fun to have kind of both options. I love the drafters format. And so I can't really recommend it enough. Of course, if you're new to it, use code FANSPEAK and get yourself basically $300. If you deposit $100, you get 100% deposit match. Again, up to $100. So use code FANSPEAK if you are new to drafters. Again, we have tons of best ball content on fanspeak.com. Like, again, it's going to be like 3, 4, 5 articles a week. So keep checking fanspeak.com for new best ball articles. And of course, like and subscribe to the Fanspeak Network, because we will be putting out best ball strategy shows and live drafts each and every week. With that, we hope you enjoyed this live draft. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.